I just want to introduce myself real quick. My name is Larry Glickman. I am the director of the Knowledge Network for the URJ. And before I joined the URJ, just about a year ago, I joined right before Passover last year. I was the executive director of Temple High in Long Grove, Illinois, and I want to extend a special welcome to my dear friend Lauren Elliott, who is on the call, who is the current president of Temple High. And I left Temple High under her watch, and she still talks to me. That's how great of a person she is. And she has agreed to help us run the President's Lounge site in the tent. So thrilled that you're here, Lauren. Thrilled that everybody is here. I was at Temple High for about 7 years. And before that, I was an executive director at other congregations for a few years. And prior to that, I was actually a youth group advisor for about 10 years. So, but I'm thrilled to be with the URJ, and I am thrilled to be talking to you about the tent. Before we go online and really do the deep dive into the tent, I wanted to just explain what it was. And I know you've heard about the tent, and I know that you've either used it or you've heard things. And so, what is the approach? What are we trying to do here? So, I'm asked all the time, what is the tent? So, first of all, the tent is built in Microsoft SharePoint. And Microsoft SharePoint is an online collaboration and resource sharing tool that is actually part of the Office 365 suite of tools. What we have built for the tent is a whole series of sites in Microsoft SharePoint. We have built a series of the whole tent is only available to those who have a username and password to get into the site. Once you get into the site known as the tent, then there are a series of sub sites in the tent. Some sub sites are closed only to certain groups. We have a site for CCAR, and only rabbis can get into that site. We have a site for the ACC. Only cantors can get into that site. We have sites for NATE, NATA, PDRJ, ECERJ, the whole alphabet soup of the Reform movement. And we have a site for our temple residents as well. Again, only temple residents can get into that site. We have some open sites as well where we hope that everybody who's in the tent will collect and talk and share resources and expertise as well. And I will show you what that all looks like. So on the tent, in the tent, not on the tent, we don't want to crush the tent. In the tent, what can you do? Well, you can right now. You all know about You've all or mostly all have participated in the PressConf listserv, which was done on the Shamash platform. And because the Shamash platform is about to close down, we created the tent. But you can still have listserv style conversations in the tent. You can post whatever question or comment that you have. You can get an email alert about that post, and you can reply to that post. There are also really robust resource libraries on your site in the tent, and you can add a file of some kind, a resource of some kind, either straight to our resource libraries or as an embedded part of the discussion that you are having on the President's Lounge website. And we're going to talk more about that as well. And then there's a lot of social networking opportunities as well. We learn about what each other has done in their Jewish career. We learn what their expertise is. We learn what they look like, what congregation they belong to. We take our big, huge reform movement and we make it small, and we make it a little more personal and a little more familiar in the tent. So that's a broad overview of what the tent is. But you may have heard some complaints along the way. And if I can't be frank with this group, I can't be frank with any group. So one question that I'm asked a lot is, why is the tent so complicated to use? I love my listserv. I love just being able to get an email and respond to that email. And we've given this lots of thought too. And I'd like to kind of compare your listserv to your Wi-Fi network at home. Your Wi-Fi network at home is very easy to log into. Each time you walk into the house with your laptop or your phone or your iPad, you are automatically logged into your Wi-Fi network. It works seamlessly. You don't have to punch in your password each time. You don't have to go through a bunch of login screens. It just works. And then you have immediate access to your immediate network in your house. And this is a lot like our listservs as well. They're very easy to sign up for. And once you punch in your email address, you very rarely have to go back and do anything with your listserv at all to enable you to receive those emails. And once it's set up, like I said before, it just works. And it gives you immediate access to your immediate network. In your case, it gives you access to your Council of Presidents network throughout the reform movement. But then, if we look at that and take that one step out more, let's compare your cell phone to the tent. And your cell phone, it takes a very complicated contract to sign and to get approved, and there's a very complicated financial structure involved as well. It takes a lot of time not only to set that up, but to set up the phone, to get your contacts in, to get the sounds and the clicks and the images just right. You put in a lot of time to that new phone when you first get that phone. But once you've gone through all of that time and all of that work, it gives you complete access to a vast, almost worldwide network of people and content. Just like with the tent, due to the restricted nature of the tent, that this is only available for leaders of the reform movement. There is a somewhat involved, some might say complicated registration process to get access to the tent in the first place. It's going to take time. It's going to take that first time. It's going to take time to log in, to set up your About Me page, to find the sites that you want to find. You're going to have to set some time aside in order to set up the tent so it works just right for you. But once you're online, it gives you complete access, just like with your cell phone, to a vast North American network of people and content. So just like with your phone, you have to put a little bit of investment in time into it first, but once you do, the whole world is yours. Okay, I want to go and show you the tent now, but before I do, I'm going to take a quick pause just to see if we have any questions at this point. Um, Ted, you're saying you can't use any of the buttons on the control panel of GoToMeeting. I am sorry to hear that. I'm not sure what to advise you there, yeah, because that's not really my software per se. But I'm hoping that you can still see things and hear things. So please keep in touch with that. And let me just see if we have any hands raised. We don't, so I think I'm doing good, and I'm going to move along. But again, please don't be shy, um, and we will keep in touch as we go along here. So, okay, I'm going to get out of here. So, as you start to use the tent, um, and as we stay involved in the tent, I really want you to make a note of this URL that you see on my screen right now. The URG, I always get this wrong. The tent.urj.net. This is our public page. You don't need a password to get here, but when you're here, this is where you can log into the tent. I know many of you don't have your access information yet, and I'm going to tell you either how you can get your I'm going to email it out after we're done, but you can absolutely get in right now, and I'm going to show you how that's done. But if you ever get lost in the tent, if you're not sure where you are, or if you forget your username or your password along the way, just go to the tent.urj.net, and you will be able to get into the tent. So if in order to sign into the tent for the first time, you can just click on sign into the tent, and it's going to take you to a page that looks like this. Your username most times is going to be first initial last name at urj.net. That sounds like an email address. It's going to look like an email address, but that is not an email address. It's not a new place you're going to need to check. If you are uh, burdened with a common name. If, for instance, your name is Mark Schwartz, and at another congregation we have Mark Schwartz, and at another congregation we have Marianne Schwartz, and at another congregation we have Marvin Schwartz. It might be M Schwartz 1, M Schwartz 2, M Schwartz 3. If you want to ensure what your username is, you would just click on here, put in your email address, punch in the code that you see, and you're going to get a reminder right away. If you forgot your password, or if you haven't received your password yet, because I know I haven't emailed them out to you yet, you can always find it out right now. Just put in your first initial last name at urj.net here, the email address you are going to use, type the code, and if we've set up an account for you, you're going to get your password reminder. I'm not going to go into this part of it a lot right now, but this link here, request access for leaders in my congregation. Every congregation is being given 10 seats to get into the tent. Those seats do not include you or your rabbi, cantor, educator, executive director, early childhood. Anybody who might be getting into the tent through their affiliate organization is not counted against the 10. But here you can log into the congregation update tool, update us on who your current staff and lay leadership are. And next to each name is going to be a checkbox. You just check the names of the folks you want to get into the tent, and they will get their access instructions usually within 24 hours. If you don't know how to get into the congregation update tool, and this is a tool that's been around for years, just click on the please provide login credentials for my congregation. And as long as you are recorded with the URJ as being the president of your congregation, that email will automatically go to you. So please feel free to explore that. I am seeing a question here, but it is not what I'm going to address right now. But let's go back home, and I'm going to click sign into the tent. Now, don't be confused because mine is urj.org. That's how we sign in staff, but everybody else is urj.net. Okay, so I'm going to sign into the tent, and we're going to be brought to the tent homepage, which looks an awful lot like the page that we were just on. When you sign into the tent for the first time, you're going to be brought to your About Me page. And if you skip that ever, I'm going to ask you to go back to it and really make it the first thing that you do. You're just going to have to click on your name and go to About Me. The tent is built around you. It's built around who you are, what your expertise is, and the things that you want to do and participate with in the tent. So when you go to the tent asks you for lots of information about you on your About Me page. The only thing that we need from you is your name and your email address. If you don't give us your email address, we can't send you email alerts about the things that you are interested in the tent. That's all that we need. But I'm going to encourage you to fill in a lot more. The first thing, please, please, please add a photo of yourself. You're going to see why that's such an important thing to do. Make it a nice big shot of your face. Hopefully, you're a much more attractive person than I am, or at least you have more hair. But please do upload it and make it a nice, clear shot of you. I'm sure your kids are great. Your pets are great, but it should be just you in this shot so we can clearly see who we are learning from, who we are talking to in the tent. I put my work phone here. I work for the URJ. I felt that was an important thing to put there. About me. Here you have a chance to put in as long or as short of you as you want, a little biographical paragraph about yourself. Here is ask me about. What is the expertise that you have that you can reach out to somebody at another congregation who is toiling away? They think they're all on their own out there, but know you can help them. As soon as you start to type in this box, a list of terms that match what you've begun to type will come up. And if it's not there, you have the chance to add a new one. And these all become terms that we can search on. So please do add good stuff here, stuff that others are going to really be able to use as well to find the expertise that they need. Along the top of the page, you see we have three links, three different pages of information here. If you go to contact information, it asks for a lot more information. Again, please fill in only the information that you feel comfortable with. You'll see I didn't put in my home phone. I didn't put in my fax machine number. I don't have a fax machine number. I work out of my office at home. And again, I do work out of my office at home, and I felt that was an important thing to add here, but I didn't add my home phone. And then on the details page, we see a little more personal information. Again, share it if you like, but I will say that I have already been able to connect. I found there's an executive director out there who shares the same birthday that I have. I did run across somebody who went to the American University as well. So the more information you add, the more robust and vital of a place the tent becomes. Almost think of it as your congregation in the cloud. And what are you going to want to know about other people who belong to your congregation? And what are you going to want to share? So please put some time into that. And when you're done, you're going to hit save all and close. And it's going to say your changes have been saved. It may take some time. Okay. Okay, I'm going to take a quick pause. That's about me. I think we have a hand raised, which is awesome. Let me just see who we have here. Stephen Handler. Stephen, I'm going to unmute you here real quick and see what question you have. Stephen?
Hey, Larry. Thank you. Actually, I was just typing it in the box as well. Can you just repeat again? Where do we enter that personal
Oh, sure,
information?
sure, sure. So if I go into edit your profile,
Is that on
into
the first? So as soon as we log into the tent, that we will see that,
I
or where do we
believe
get
that
to edit
comes
your
up
profile?
first, and if not, your name is always in the right-hand corner of the screen. And you can always
Got it.
just click on your name, go to About Me, and then you're brought to your About Me page, and you can edit your profile, and it's there.
Great. Thanks.
Okay? Okay, so I'm going to put you back on mute, Stephen, and again, just please raise your hand again if you need something else. Thank you. Okay, so now you've put all this stuff in. Now what do I do? Um, And so um, here we are, and you'll see now. Now I'm seeing my About Me page as if somebody else would see it. So I can just click on Show More, and I see all of this other information that you saw before. Here's all my quote unquote expertise, and then this is kind of a news feed of all of the running activity that I have participated in the tent. Across the top of the screen, you're going to see a bar. Sometimes that bar will be blue, sometimes it will be gray, but it will always do the same things. And you're going to click on sites. And these are things that you are going to have to do once. Just do this once and you will rarely have to do it again. You may want to update your About Me page from time to time, or you may want to find new sites to join. But to just get to the PressConf site, you'll do this once. So when you're on the sites page, I'm going to ask you to click the community directory tile here. And this is going to give you a list of all of the sites that we have launched in the tent so far. And you'll see some of these sites are open sites, but most of them are private sites just for people who are engaged in those groups. But we see the name of the site, we have a link to take us to that site. And as I said, the tent knows who you are, so you can come to the site and you can click on the ACC site, but you are not going to get into the site. The community moderator of that site is going to have to give you permission, and it may be that you come across a private site that you have every right to be in. So you will click on that and then you'll request access to that site. But as I scroll down, I see the President's Lounge site here, and I'm going to click on the site, and it's going to bring me to that page. So this is the home page, and before we even explore, it's important to do it's important to do three things. One is you are going to see a button. I think it's going to be right here on your screen, a blue button that says join this community. Please make that the very first thing that you do. And then underneath your name on this site, click the follow button as well. And as soon as you do, you're going to get an alert. Now following this site. So what does that mean? That means you can set up email alerts for this site. This means that if you go back to your sites page, that you're going to see it right here in the sites that you are following. So please do those two things. But the very best thing that you can do for yourself is to just bookmark the page. Now I am working on a Macintosh using the Safari web browser. So this may not work the same exact way for you, but just go to bookmarks, click add bookmark. So then if you do that, you don't have to go through About Me, Sites, Community Directory, and then click on the link. You can just go to the site itself through the bookmark. So please do that. It's going to make your life a lot easier, I am sure. Okay, going to take a quick pause here. Looks like we may have some questions. Alan Zychik, and Alan, I am so sorry if I mispronounced your name. Can you set up to indicate multiple congregation affiliations? That is very important to many of us. Alan, that is not a question that I have been asked before, but I'm going to make a note of that. My initial answer is multiple. Let me just go to my About Me page real quick. I just want to see what opportunities we have here. So if I go into edit my profile, that's a very good question. So you will see that your temple affiliation is not even a field anywhere in here. It's automatically added in. Um, and here, this is my URJ congregation affiliation. I gotta believe that there's a way to do that. Um, my guess is, Alan, that if we have you recorded as a member of more than one congregation, that's going to be reflected here. But please let me do a little bit of research with that, and I will get back to the group. So, but that's a very good question. Um, uh, Great. Okay, so let me move ahead. I'm going to go back to site. So now I'm lost. Now I'm off of the President's Lounge site and I'm lost. How do I get back to the site? I was smart enough to bookmark the site before, and here it is. So this is the homepage. And let me just explain a little bit about what we have here. First of all, this is a list of the current conversations that are happening on this site in chronological order, either of when the question was asked or when the last response was made. So you see here, this was asked by me. I put it in the human resources discussion category, and we'll talk more about that soon. The last reply was made by me. I like to talk to myself often. And then this is the date that all of this occurred. So let me go to I can see here, I've got one reply here, but I've got 6 replies here. So I'm going to click on this to see more because there's going to be more to see. So in order to see more information about any question or comment at all, you're just going to click on the blue. The blue is a link. So you're going to click once on there. And here is how we began the site. I announced to the team that the site was done and you're ready to explore. And you can start to get a sense of what a nice thing this is. Look how lovely my good friend Lauren looks here. And here is Judy Amsel here. Here's Michael Loffer here. Now we're seeing who everybody is. We couldn't do that on the PressConf listserv. I gotta tell you, I was at a URJ communities meeting the week before last in New York. And I walk into the room, and it was a bunch of congregational prep presidents from around Manhattan. I walk into the room and I look at somebody across the room. He looks at me. He says, "Wait a minute. I know you from the tent." I swear it couldn't have been more of a sales job than I could have asked for right there. And he's right. He and I have talked back and forth in the tent. He wouldn't have known that when I walked into the room had it not been for the fact that we can actually see who everybody is. So that's just a vote for you to please be sure to add a picture of yourself. So if I wanted to reply to this, I just scroll down and you see we have an add a reply box here. I'm just going to say this is how you add a reply. And it's that easy. And you can see that as soon as I start to type, a very familiar looking set of controls appears. And you can make this look however you want it to look. My guess is you're not going to play around with it that much, but you can pick whatever font you want, bold, whatever font size. I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to make it bold, and that's how I'm going to make that look. But again, you're going to type back and forth for the most part. But once I've typed my reply, I'm going to hit reply, and there it is. And look how bold and obnoxious that is. So I can either just scroll down and type my reply there, or I can type my reply here. I can type a reply. Actually, let me show you. Let me show you. I want to. This is if you want to type a reply to one of the comments that was made. Just type in here. This is a reply to a reply, and I'm going to hit reply. It's still going to appear at the end of the list, but it's going to say this is in response to Lauren Elliott's post. So that's how that works. Now, if I wanted to start a new discussion of my own, I'm going to click on the homepage link here, and that's going to take me back to the homepage here, the homepage of the President's Lounge, not to the homepage of the tent. If I want to go back to the homepage of the tent, I just click on the tent, and I'm going to explain more about that soon. So if I wanted to start a new discussion of my own, I'm going to click New. That's all that I have to do. And I'm going to say this is how you start a new discussion. And then I'm going to click down here. And again, I get all those controls. It is very easy to begin a new discussion in the tent. And then down here, and this is a very important part of what we do here, what is the appropriate discussion category that this goes in? And these are all things that were determined by the Conference of Presidents itself as we built this site. You may not find an exact match for what you're trying to ask. That's fine. Just pick a good close match. But please be sure to pick the most appropriate discussion category that you can. I'm going to put this under URJ, and you can see there's this here too. I am asking a question and want to get answers from others. You can certainly click this box, or you don't need to click this box. I don't know what that box does, so I'm just going to hit save, and you're going to see now it's there. And perhaps somebody wants to go in and just type a quick response, and you can see how that works. So as far as the discussion categories, you can go on here and you can review a list of the current conversations that are happening. Alan Zaitchek is in the tent. I see you on the list, my friend. So glad that you're here. Here he is. So you can look and see a list of the current conversations here, or if you click on the categories page here, and this is cool. This shows you all of the discussion categories that you can choose from, and it automatically splits up everything that's being talked about into its appropriate discussion category. So as I hover over here, I can see the level of activity. And we don't have much yet. We'll have more soon, I hope. Excuse me, going to take a quick sip here. But so say you're having a human resources committee meeting one night. You're looking for fresh ideas, good things to do, good ways to respond to current things that are happening with your staff. You can either be on the home page and hope that you find things that have to do with what you want to see, or you can go to the categories page, click here, and be brought to what's being talked about there. So if I go back to the URJ category that I posted to before, you can see this is where you find um, what what I posted before, and I see that Lauren went in and made a response. Hi everyone, hi Lauren. I'm gonna like this. So what does that mean? Who cares if I like it or not? Not a big deal to be sure, but as you look at the top contributors here, the more things are liked, every like is not a big deal, but you should know every like gets 10 points. And then if I go in here and I choose this as the best reply, now I get 100 points. And I get 100 points. And now I think I'm going to click home and I'm going to be at the top of the list now. I'm close. I'm close. So that's our gamification aspect of the tent, and that's how you rise in the top contributors list. But if you ever want to see who belongs to the site, you can just click on the members link here, and you'll see a link of people who belong to the site. And look at everybody who's signed in. This is just great. So good to see you all here. So, and pictures, so many pictures. It's wonderful. Um, sorry, I get very excited. So, again, now under the discussion categories link here we have our resource libraries. Now, for the Shamash days, it would be that sometimes when you would attach a document to your email, sometimes that document would go through, but most times it did not. In the tent, it always goes through. So you can go through, you can go onto the page, onto the each resource library here, and you can start to see what is here. And you can even, if I wanted to add a new document, I would go to the right resource library, and just like with a new discussion, I would click new. Here I click new as well, and I'm going to navigate my way to the file that I want to find, and I'm looking for a good file to share with you. Um, I'm going to just do this real quick, and Lauren is on the call. She's seeing me go through all of my old Temple High stuff here, so she's going to tell me if I'm sharing something I shouldn't share. Okay, so here's a Northwest Kala ad. This should be fine, I hope, Lauren. If not, just please raise your hand right away. But I'm going to hit choose. And when I hit choose, now it already knows what library I'm in. So it's not going to ask that. I'm just going to click OK now that I found the right file. And when I do, this very scary looking window is going to come up. But it's really a very important window, and it's important that you take time with this. This is where we add the metadata data about the file that's being shared. So what does that term metadata actually mean? It's the information about the information that's being shared. So here, if I want to expand on the name of the file, add for bulletin, and I can say this is an ad we created for adult study. Example type, I'm going to say a sample. Topics. Now, this is another pre-seeded list, much like the one that we saw before. So I'm going to say marketing. And as soon as I start to type that in, again, that list comes up and I pick the one that is the best match. I'm going to type in education there. And it's not a long list. I'm going to be very frank. It's a short list, and we want to keep it short too, because it makes it easier to find things. The more information you share, the easier it is to find. And you can just click on this little tag icon here and see all of the topics that you can choose from here. And so you can start to type, or you can just pick them straight from here. It's very easy to do. So now, what congregation was this made for? Yes, this is a list of every congregation in the Reform movement. But don't worry, although it's over 900 congregations, all I need to do is start to type Temple. Whoop, I typed wrong. Temple. I'm going to do it again. Temple High. So it took me right there. If you can type well, you can get right there. So I'm going to pick that, the year that it was made. I'm just going to guess 2009, the size of the congregation. And again, just pick the things that you think, if the name of the congregation and year and size and all that applies to the resource that's being shared, then please do add that. So I'm going to check that in. And once I do, it's going to appear here with a little green star next to it. And this is all of the information that I just put in here. And whenever you see a dot 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 in the tent, much as like you see in Word and other things around the technology world, it means more. So I'm going to click on here, and I can either open it from here, I can share it with somebody here. So say I want Lauren to be sure that it's there. I'm going to type in her name, Lauren Elliott. Here is a great file I just shared. And Lauren is going to get automatically an email alert that this was shared with her. So I can do that. Or if I click dot, dot, dot again, I can see more information about this file, all the stuff that I just put in. I can, if it's a Word file, I can actually edit the file if I so choose. I can go online and I can change things. But don't be worried, because you should feel free to share Word files and Excel files that can be changed, because this is a professional group of the elite leaders of the Reform movement. We know what to change and what not to change. But even if something inadvertently gets changed, you can click here and see the last 10 versions of any file that's been shared in the tent. So you may even post something specifically to be changed, in which case I would check this out to myself so that when I am working on this, nobody else can. And then when I'm done, I'm going to check it back in. And that's how we can use this as a very robust and strong collaboration tool. And then I can also just, if I actually want to see it, click on it, and I'm going to see it right away. And if I want to see the ad that I just shared, I can just click on that, and I'm going to see it right away. And here it is. But say I want to add a resource as part of a conversation that I'm having in the tent. So I'm going to start a new one again, sharing resources in the tent. Here is a great file I found I thought you could use. Okay, so here I am. I'm in the body block of the message that I want to type. I'm going to go to the Insert tab, upload file, and here I am back to the same type of window I was before. And I'm going to do the half page ad this time. I'm going to choose, and I'm going to pick the correct library. I was already in a resource library before, but now I'm uploading a resource from a comment that's being made. So I really want to make sure that it gets into the right place. So I'm going to put it in guides and examples. I'm going to click OK. And again, I'm going to get this window, and you're going to see how fast I can do this when I don't have to explain. Uh, Example type, sample, topics, adult learning, education, and marketing, and congregation, Temple High. Whoops, I did it again, Temple High, and year developed, 2009. Again, that's just a guess. I don't really know. Setting, rural, suburban, suburban, and I am done. So it really doesn't take that much time once you kind of have the flow, but I want to make sure that I put this into the right discussion category now. And I'm going to put it back here in the general one, and I'm going to hit save. Now, when you see a camera icon, you know that a resource is being shared. And it's very, you don't have to go through all of those resource libraries. It's right here. And I just have to click and it's there. And it's very easy to use. And then you can print it from here. You can save it from here, whatever you need to do. So that's about how to do discussions and resources in the tent. I want to take a quick pause here, and I want to see if there's any questions. Oh, there's a lot. I apologize. Okay, so who decides who gets the 10 accounts per congregation? Are these 10 accounts separate from ACC and all that? The answer to the question, the first part is you decide. Um, the idea is that we want to give you 10 seats now. We hope in the months and years to come, we can expand that to your whole board, if not anybody from your congregation who wants to get into the tent. But as we start out, we want to start out slow and we want to do this well. So we want to empower the leaders of our congregations to decide who gets into the tent. We don't know if your worship of VP is really engaged or not and really wants to explore and learn and do more. You do. So you get to decide who gets into the tent. And no, those 10 seats do not include the folks from ACC, CCAR, and on and on and on. So it's all those folks plus the 10 that you decide. And if you use all of your 10 and you really need more, you're going to pick up the phone and give me a call, and we're going to see what we can work out. Okay? So I'm going to move on. Neil asked me, all very pretty, but most of us do not sit in front of a computer all day, and that is why email is so useful. Fear not, because I am going to show you how to set up an email alert for this site. Okay. I'm going to get back to that. Ted is asking, is font size determined by the tent software? Can the standard font size be changed? The font size I see is small. The font size needs to be changed. You can magnify, Ted, I believe, what you see on your screen. You can increase the font size as it's displayed in your web browser. But I'm afraid the way it's done from the Microsoft side of things, we don't have any control. So what you see is what you get. But there are absolutely ways to increase that. Ted, what is the significance of the top contributors list? Why do I care? You may very well not care. It's one of those things that is built into the site. So I'll be very frank. When I got online on my first site, it was fun to see me at the top of the list. And there are things that you can do. You can assign a badge for best contribution of the day, or you can find fun ways to make people more engaged on your site. That's the idea. Being a top contributor hopefully will cause people to come back to the site, because the more you participate, the higher ranking you will get. You may not care, but it may be a tool that those who run the President's Lounge site decide to use to encourage more participation. Where do I find the About Me section and add a picture? Leslie asks. Leslie, always in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, you're going to see your name. Click on your name, and then a small pull-down menu will appear. I'm going to show you how that's done. I'm going to click on my name. I'm going to go to About Me, and I'm going to edit my profile. And that's how that's done. Okay. Okay, Leslie. Never mind. Okay? Well, it was still good to explain. So okay, lots of great questions along the way, and I apologize. It took me a long time to get to those, but I will always get to them. Okay, we're taking up lots of our time, but if you guys are good, I'm good as well, and I'm going to keep on moving forward. Want to show you search in that, it's wonderful to scroll through all of this. It's great to click on all of these discussion categories and or not resource libraries and and see what's being talked about. But the fewer clicks that you have to do, the happier of a tent user you will be. So there's always the search box in the upper right hand corner of the screen as well. And you can do a search on any word or combination of words. Let me pick a word. Now, I know you don't think about this too much, but I'm going to use the word dues. So let's say I'm thinking about dues. I want to rethink dues. I want to see what other people are talking about dues. I want to see what kind of resources are stored throughout the tent online about dues. So I'm going to do a search on dues. Now, the tent, like I said before, knows who you are. So it's only going to deliver search results that you have the rights to see. So it's not going to give you things, it's not going to give you discussions from the NADA site. But interestingly enough, that organization thought it was important to share the resources from their site. So you will find resources from the NADA site, but not conversations from the NADA site. I have permission because I am in charge of all of this tent. I have permission to see all of this stuff. So my search results might be more than yours, but you see I have over 1,000 search results for the term dues. So there's lots of ways that I can go through this. One is I can just hover my mouse over each search result, and this really cool preview of whatever that search result is comes up, and I can go right there from here. If it's a Word file, I get an immediate preview of that Word file. If it's a PowerPoint file, not only do I get a preview of that, but I can actually page through it as well. I can get a really good sense of what this is. Or I can just click on it and I'm going to see it just like that. Or, and this is the real powerful part of this, say I really want to see what NADA has shared about do. So I'm going to click on their site. You can't see it here, but that's what that is. And I'm going to hit apply. So now I'm only seeing things from that one site. But say I only want to see Word files. Say I only want to see Word files shared in the last year. Say I only want to see Word files shared in the last year from Judy Mosley. I got 1,000 search results pared down to one. And that's a really powerful tool. So I can go show more, and I can go clear, and I can go all, and then I'm brought back to my 1,000 search results from before. So really spend some time on here because it's a really great tool that will really help you find the information that you need to find. So I'm going to go back to my President's Lounge site from my bookmark. So the question was asked about email alerts, and this is a great point. The tent is absolutely designed as a place for you to go to, a place for you to explore, a place for you to learn and to engage with others. However, we do understand that email is still a tool that lots of people use. We predict that the use of email is going to be reduced in the years to come. We're not there yet. We will be there in time. But whenever you start a conversation in the tent, and somebody responds to you, you are automatically going to get an email alert. You don't have to do a thing. But say you want to get an email alert for every question that's asked on this site and every reply that's made. That's an easy thing to do that is going to get much easier in the weeks to come. So in order to do that, we built a whole website just to learn how to use the tent. And here, if you see under tips and tricks, how do I get email alerts? If I click on there, you're going to get an easy to use PDF file with the 6 steps that you need to take in order to get an email alert. I'm thrilled to announce to you soon those 6 steps will be 1 step. But really, this will take you about 3 minutes to do at the most. If you're going really slowly, it will take you 3 minutes to do. So please do set up an email alert for yourself. That email alert, and you can say whether you want to receive that email alert as each comment or question is being made, or once each day, or once each week, and you can pick the time of day or the certain day of week, whatever works for you. Um, but so that email will come and will show you the content of what was said in the tent, and will bring you a link back to the page so you can respond. You cannot reply to the email. You cannot reply to the comment through email. You do have to come back to the site. Again, that is going to change too, but that's how we are right now. It's much, and I don't like to say the F word during my webinars, but in this sense, it's a lot like Facebook. And you don't respond to Facebook posts through email. You click on the link that you get and you go back to the page. And the tent works the same exact way. So I'm going to take a quick pause here. Any plans? Stephen is asking, any plans to port the history of PressConf to some repository on the tent? It would be a shame to lose that history. Stephen, we could not agree with you more. However, um, for all of the years and years and years of information that's there, we don't have a way to export that to a usable format and to upload that to the tent. We just don't have it. We don't have the man hours for it, nor do I think we have the technology for it. So we can either look at this as a fresh start and a place to build new expertise and to bring things over from the old press conf as need be, as you think we should, as we can. Or you can engage some volunteers to start to look through some of the really useful emails that were sent. But I'm afraid there's not a way to do it en masse, if you will. Neil asks, are we designing an app instead of email? We are not actively designing an app at this time. There are native Microsoft apps now, and there's going to be more of them. And it's going to be a very easy thing to respond to emails through your phone, through your iPad, or right on the tent. What you see here really does work well, and it really works very smoothly once you learn how this world, this new world of Microsoft SharePoint works. That being said, it's going to get easier and smoother to use in the months to come. So, will there be an app? So I just explained that. So I want to show you one other trick about how to get folks engaged and how to get emails into their hands. And Steven here is enjoying his first time in the lounge. And Steven, we're thrilled that you're here. But I'm going to say, great to hear your positive thoughts. And I'm going to type the at sign here. Alan, and I see he's just into the tent. Alan Z. So as soon as I start to type a name, a match is going to appear. I'm going to say, hope you are enjoying the webinar, which seems like a contradiction in terms. But I'm going to hit reply. As soon as I hit reply, because I mentioned him, his name became bold, Alan is going to receive an email alert. So it's a great way to draw people into the tent, and it's a great way to draw them into the specific conversations that are being had, especially if you know that they have expertise that is going to help in the conversation that's being had. So please play around with the at sign as well. I'm not going to do a deep dive into this. There's also the hashtag sign. You can use the hashtag sign to talk about do's. So this talks about things. The hashtag is things, and the at sign is people. And you can connect to each other based on the hashtag signs. And if this is a hashtag sign that you want to follow in the tent, it's going to give you that option here to follow that hashtag. If this is a term that you care about, encourage others to use that term as well. So just one last quick thing. Again, we have our training and FAQ page here, site here, all about how to use the tent. Please explore this. We have the URJ resource library here, where we're going to add URJ curated content on this page, and it will come up as part of search too. But please feel free to look through here. Don't forget to go back to the home page and to explore our three open sites as well. These are the different areas of congregational life that the presidents of our congregations can help out so much on. And please explore these sites as well. Join these sites, follow these sites, and help everybody else out in the tent who is on these sites as well. And you can see that we framed these sites in the teachings of Pirkei Avot. Our world is sustained with Torah, Avodah, Gimilut Hasadim. You can see what all of these three sites are about. Explore these also on the homepage. Spend 2 minutes in the tent with us. This is all different information, short 2 minute webinars led by me that explain how to use different parts of the tent, about me page, how to set up an email alert, how to find sites, how to start a new discussion. We're going to add more to this as well, but please explore that as well. I went through this real fast, and I wanna say that we did record this, so we will send out a link for this soon. We are closed for the last day of Passover tomorrow, but we hope to get it out soon after that. And please be in touch with me with whatever help you need. Please be in touch with Lauren Elliott, who is the community moderator of this site. We are both here to help. We are both here to make this as easy of a transition as we can. You all are the task force that's helping us to launch this site. We cannot launch the site without you. I'd like to ask you to each commit to trying to post maybe three different things in the next week. Maybe reply to three different things as well, and share three different resources along the way as well. Let's get some good content up here. Let's really try to use this site as best we can, so that when we invite the whole list on to this page, then there's going to be some good content here. So I'm going to take one last pause, see if there are any other questions, um, and just some very nice comments to say thank you, which I am more than happy to do. So please get online, explore. You're not going to break the tent. I am not going to be a permanent part of this site, but I am going to be involved as the site is launched. I want to make sure I can respond to any questions or concerns that come up, and then I will take a backseat, because this is really for you to discuss and to work on the work that you do in complete confidence. So thank you very much for your time. I hope you are all making it through the Passover holiday well, and I look forward. I really look forward to seeing you all in the tent. Thank you very much. And this ends the webinar.